right, next up we have Patient Transfer from the Dark Deception soundtrack. Or Dark Deception 4, I don't know which one. Anyway, once again, everybody, this is a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here is to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happening here musically. So, if you like the sound of that, make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Become a member, support the channel as much as you want. 2 disclaimers. Number 1, this is my first time hearing this track, so I will be pausing a lot as I will be pointing things out as I realize them or as I hear them. And number 2, this is recorded live on stream on a single take, so I might stumble upon my words. Whatever happens, happens. And yeah, with that being said, let's check this out. Apparently this is a horror soundtrack. Let's see where this goes. Okay, so we have quite a few elements to get started. First, the most notorious aspect of this thing, the orchestral percussion. We are getting some really, really cool drums, giving us a very fast-paced beat. In between that, we are getting a little bit of violins doing what I believe would be harmonics. It's either harmonics or a little bit of aleatoric stuff. Harmonics is something that you get. So the harmonics is based off of the harmonic series. So harmonics is basically when you get higher notes by bending the audio waves, because harmonics comes from the harmonic series. The harmonic series is a physical phenomenon that we get. Let's say we have an audio wave. Let's say this is your audio wave right here, and you have, I don't know, the wave that this is coming from is the note of C. So the C is now your fundamental. And what happens with the harmonic series or overtones? When you get this, when you engage in this, the harmonics, you engage in overtones. An overtone is the tone that happens over another tone. Overtone. And in this case, let's say we have the fundamental of C. If you take the sound wave of C and you cut that in half, this over here is a C 1 octave higher. If you take this remaining half and you cut that in half, you get another C. If you cut that in half, you get a G, and then it starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. This principle is what things like Mongolian throat singing or Tuvan throat singing, overtone singing are based upon. This is how trumpets work. This is how tubas, brass instruments work. And it's a really, really cool thing. You can see that with guitarists, and all sorts of instruments are capable of this. So when you do this with a violin, basically it works similarly to how it works with a guitar. You gently place your finger right on top of the string without pressing the string all the way down, just on the spot where the string would be in the desired place, and you just play that note and you get that higher sound. That's what these little screeching higher sounds every once in a while are. A good example of, as I said, overtone singing. So if you want to know what this sounds like, I'm going to give you a demonstration right now. So we have this fundamental note. Ooh. Then, if I engage in overtone singing, which is I'm going to be folding with my mouth and everything, I'm going to be folding the sound waves to get higher sounds. So we go from ooh to you can hear that higher pitch whistling. Sounds like whistling, but it is just me singing the note, folding the audio wave, and getting the overtone. So on principle, the same is happening with the violins over here. And then we have some vocals giving us a little bit of a choir in the background, and that's so far what we got. Our motif, I would say, is mainly rhythmic. So we are having what could be a rhythmic motif. We do have some brass we do have some brass instruments. We have like the trombones, the tubas, giving us the pwams. So, yeah. Is that one paradox you drew? No. So, some nice overtone singing. Thank you. I do Mongolian throat singing. So I do know how to do this. But yes, yeah, so we might have a rhythmic motif. It could be the other stuff. So, Jazz, welcome to the day. How you doing? Let's see. So yeah, we do. So yes, we have the trombones and the tuba giving us this very cool bass line, giving us this very straightforward. So every once in a while, I've talked about the concept of the flying melody. The flying melody is a colloquial term that I use. Colloquial just means that there's no academic term for it, or if there is, I'm choosing not to use it for the sake of simplicity. So in this case, usually a flying melody is you have a busy bass line, drums, middle ground, kind of like what we're having, and then high up above, you are getting a slower, simpler melody that is kind of just flying, soaring above everything else. However, what we're getting right now is the complete opposite. We are getting the bass line giving us that really, really cool, static, simpler melody. So in this case, it doesn't feel like there's something flying above you, but something creeping up beneath you. Something crawling underneath you kind of thing, which works a lot for horror. Let's see where this goes. And there we go. There's our motif right there. Now we bring in some more of the brass, which I think that could have been some French horns. We definitely some trombones. I think the trombones finally came up. Definitely not trumpets. We brought the trombones, maybe doubled by the French horns as well, giving us our motif. The motif, of course, being the smallest version of your musical idea, the seed, the essence from which everything else comes from, right? So there is that going on while everything else is just building things up. So let's see where this goes. There's no choir anymore. Okay, so now we take the motif. So yeah, the bass line was our initial motif. It's fairly, it's not unusual. It's just usually not a dead giveaway when the bass line carries the motif, because usually bass lines are a lot more free and tend to have a lot less, let's say, commitment with the rest of the music. However, in this case, the bass line had that motif, and now we have the motif. We had the motif higher up. Now we're having the motif back down, and now we're going, bringing back and forth. We added an extra layer of violins, giving us a little bit more texture in the background. And yes, Lucky commented on these. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to see it. So yes. So yes, what we are having right now is we're having the drums giving us our drum beat, but more importantly, there is one instrument doing a very important job. We have the violins in the background giving us an ostinato. So, ostinato is when you have an instrument repeat the same thing over and over and over again. And right now, the ostinato, we're getting two ostinatos from the violins. We have the first violins, or the higher violins, giving us these very high-pitched harmonics. Majestic, welcome to the day, how you doing? Very, very much like stinging from high above. And then we are having another set of violins giving us this up and down, up and down, up and down in what is called a tremolo. Or not entirely a tremolo, we're just getting really, really fast, going up and down this scale, giving us a sense of a steady beat, while everything else is pretty much just doing their own thing rhythmically. This is working as a grounding force, so that even though there is a lot of stuff going on, there is still something for our ears to latch on to as something steady. Because again, when you're making music, you want a very careful balance between what is new and what is familiar. Too much new stuff, you risk overwhelming the listener, they tune out. Too much familiarity, too much repetition, you risk boring the listener, they tune out. So having some balance there is good, and in this case, the rhythm, the melodies are very, very on the edge of being overwhelming, because, they're very loud, they're very fast, so having these ostinatos in the background helps a lot keep things pretty much fresh, while still giving you an anchoring point. Let's see where this goes. Really good. Okay. And there we go. We bring back the chorus now to give us like a little bit of a contrast to the start. Kind of recapitulating what we had at the beginning. Pretty good. The bass line is still carrying the motif, while the chorus is giving us a little bit more drama, basically. Like, the chorus is doing a very, very straightforward phrase, giving us a lot of drama, following the rhythms that we're having, and it works nicely. Let's see where this goes. Yep, they're following the bass line as well. There's the trombones. I think there's French horns in there as well with the motif. And something to note about the motif that they are playing. They're playing twice, the motif twice, I believe. The first time is... Yeah, the first time is the actual motif. And the second time, it's an inverted version of the motif. Inverted just means you're flipping the melody upside down. So we are getting basically a double take of the motif every time these instruments are playing it. A good way of developing a melody, and a very, very good creative way of just doing things. So let's see where this goes. Yeah, this is a straight repetition. So form-wise, so when you have music, you have something called form, right? So form is something that is just the structure. It's just the structure of your music. And in instrumental music, since this one is, even though there's a chorus singing, there isn't a focus on lyrics. So we would call this a piece or a track. Instrumental, therefore, we are subdividing the structure into sections. And right now we had the intro, the start of it, section A, with all the things that happened. It's, I think, divided into 2 or 3 parts. And that was it. We had section A. It ended with the trombones and tubas and all that kind of stuff doing their thing. Now we are repeating section A, pretty much note for note. Nothing wrong with that. And there you go, Raging Apocalypse, thank you for the follow, welcome to the Mosh Pit, welcome to today. So let's see. So yeah, this is just doing A again. So yes, in structure, usually what is going to happen, because this is starting to resemble an AABA format. So AABA means we had section A, which is everything we had been hearing so far. We repeat it, then we are going to go into a contrasting section, which is likely going to contain something familiar while a good chunk of the material is going to change, because that is usually how B sections work. You want B or anything that isn't A to have some sort of hard contrast with section A without bringing completely unrelated material. If it's completely new, completely unrelated material, like a completely fresh idea, you risk getting the gent syndrome. Let's call it that. For those of you who don't know, gent is a subgenre of metal, which is very much proggy, focused on very difficult rhythms, focused on very difficult motifs and riffs to play, that kind of thing. And one of the problems that most gent artists have is that section A has zero relation with section B. And section B has zero relation with section C or section A. And like none of the sections have any relation with one another. Therefore, at one point, can you tell which one is song 1 and which one is song 46. There is no anchoring point because, again, you do need to have some sense of familiarity. You do need to have something to fall back on when you are making music. And artists like in gent, in some subgenres of jazz and that kind of stuff, they end up completely missing that entirely. And it's detrimental. It's very, very detrimental because then you overwhelm the listener a lot. And that's it. So yes, structurally speaking, we should be heading to Section B soon. Let's see if it happens. Section B. Section B, what changed? The rhythm of the background violins slowed down. The rhythm that we had going super fast up and down the scale, now is just steady beats. Steady beats, steady beats, steady beats. Now also we have, of course, the French horns, the trombones giving us a more developed melody, another version of the motif, and the high-end harmonics of the violins are not being played. Nerd, welcome to the day. How you doing? So yeah, we are now in Section B, as I predicted. Let's see where this goes. Because yeah, the drums have stayed pretty much the same. We did have a cymbal hit back there. It could have been a gong, maybe I don't know, like a cymbal hitting there, which is usually a very good way of indicating the downbeat. Downbeat is just the start of the measure, right? And we are just completely developing this melody. We are bringing forward everything in this melody. We are just seeing where the melody goes. No, do not request songs yet. Not yet. Which, it's good for this is good for a climax, by the way. Like, this way that the melody is being developed into at the last minute, during the last minute of the track, is a good way of building a climax. Because usually when you're making music, the last 1 to 2 minutes, depending on how long the track is, you want to be climactic. And it's either going to be something grandiose, or you're going to be revisiting as much of the material as you've been doing. However, we were already revisiting the material, so bringing something new that breaks through that can be another way of making a climax, just like it's happened here. Let's see where it goes. Don't request songs yet. Yep, there you go. Oh. We got the chorus back. That was really cool for a second half of B, having like part the vocals, like the chorus doing its thing, part the strings coming back and giving us all those accents. By the way, accents in music, accents is not to be able to tell where somebody's from, is for accentuation. Accentuation is when you pick specific points in the rhythm and you highlight those. And that's exactly what the violins just did. Because we're having a very full percussion section, pretty much always playing. And while they have their accents, it can make it tricky to figure out where the other parts can accentuate. So when you get accentuation from other instruments, it can be very, very powerful, like it happened here with the violins. Let's see where this goes. That cymbal, really good. We bring the chorus back. Very good. With the melody, which seems to me like we went for We did not go for a second section A. We went for a second section B, an AABB format, which is somewhat unusual, or I mean B prime because it's a variation. Very unusual way of doing your of a format. It's working because the first repetition of B, we started with this melody. Then we did the chorus thing, we let the strings come back, then we brought back the melody with the chorus, and now we're developing that. That is a very effective way of building the climax even further. It's just not very common. This is very much uncommon form-wise. But it is working. And in this case, this brass and everything would be a flying melody. Because you can feel it now. We are high up above and everything. So, no jazz, no. And there we go. Now we brought back the original melody. We brought back the motif from A to use as an outro. That was a very smooth transition between the second melody and the first melody. That was really, really, really good. Takali, welcome to the day. How you doing? Let's see where this goes. Okay, we take away the melodies. We bring back just the brass with the... There's the accents from the violins. Yeah, we are in outro territory. You can tell how the music keeps escalating and escalating. And how do you do that with these violins, with these strings? Yeah, just have them do the accent on each time, just going higher and higher and higher and higher, and there you go. One last hit. Let me hear that again. And yeah, one last hit of what seems to be a gong. And there you go. There you go. That was really cool. That was really, really cool. There you go. We finish it. Like the form for this, very unusual, because then we had an outro. So A, B prime, and outro. Very unusual. Very, very unusual form because of this B prime. Like usually we've seen the opposite. We swap these two around. So we have A, B prime. We had not seen so far. Like we've done what, like 200 something LFAs? Not once have I seen an B prime form. That's how rare it is. However, it worked. It worked just fine. It worked just fine. It was a well-made piece. So, there you go. There you go. That was Patient Transfer from the Dark Deception soundtrack. That was surprisingly good, man. That was surprisingly good. Once again, everybody, this has been a Basterd's LFA, a layman-friendly analysis. I'm a professionally trained musician, a composer, and my objective here has been to explain things in a way so that you don't have to be one to understand what's happened here musically. So, if you're watching this on the YouTube video archive thing, thank you for watching. Make sure you're following the channel, subscribe to the channel, whatever term you want to use. Like the video, share the video, leave a comment, turn on notifications, become a member, support the channel as much as you want. And, of course, if you want to listen to this without me interrupting every 3 seconds, I will be linking it in the description down below. If you want to request a song and you're not on the live stream, if you're on the live stream, do not request yet. And if you're not on the live stream, go to the Discord, go to the LFA requests channel, and follow the instructions in the pinned messages. If you don't, well, Ava is authorized to yell at you, so. And if you want to catch the streams when they happen live, we aim for Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Central European Time. However, you can get the full schedule showing in your local time zone on the Twitch channel or on the Discord server. Both are linked down below. And once again, follow the gaming channel. We have a gaming channel where we put the VODs of our after-show gaming. Games are Basterd, linked down below. as well as you can just search for it. It's the same username as James R. Basterd. Just swap the J for a G, and you got it. And yeah, there you go. There you go. That was really good. That was Patient Transfer from the Dark Deception soundtrack. Really, really good stuff. But yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.